When he arrives, and let's make him feel special before I fall into that clouds of mine. Everyone's staring blankly at me, waiting for what's going to happen next, right? The man should have been here. I think he's still stuck on the airport. So he's going to take another hour to come around. Will you wait for another hour? Yes, only the kids will wait. The parents are already packed their bags and go home. No, I'm just kidding. He is in the hotel premises and he will be here with you shortly. This man's a legend. Let's go countdown. 10, 9, 3, 2. The man, the legend, is here. A 12-time Grand Slam champion. Represented India for over 15 years in India. Successfully realized this dream of creating a progressive voting system. Come on, let's hear it for the man, the legend, the winners, Mr. Mahesh Bhupathi. And I'd also like to introduce on stage, we've got Anita Shaker, who's the head of client engagement at Gera Developments Private Limited. Can we have a round of applause for her as well? Thank you. So Anita has been spearheading the operationalization of Gera's child-centric homes in Pune, and now of course she'll be here in Goa as well. So I'd like Anita to, address the audience and tell us a little about your experience with child-centric homes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me incredible joy to see the turnout. A very exuberant group of young children. I saw them on the courts and I'm delighted. So before I proceed, we've been hearing a lot about child-centric. So just a teeny-weeny rewind as to what this child-centric thing is all about, because I had a few parents asking me this. So, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we came up with this concept of child-centric, we really believed that this was what young parents of today were looking at. In terms of the offering of premium homes, of course, great infrastructure, of course, that's a given, and there is no two way about that. But in addition to that, there were certain facilities which we thought the young parent is looking for, which is the 4 pillars of the child-centric home, which is essentially development, fun, safety, and convenience. So there is a lot of stress we find in the little one's life, so we thought, why not make it a little simpler for the parents to really reach out and give the child what they believe would be an opportunity for the little children. So today what we have here is the beginning of the first of the academies for Gera's River of Joy. We are starting off the master class by none other than the ace, Mahesh Bhupathi, who is here, who I'm delighted to kind of have and share the stage with. So we will be going to the courts in a little while at around 4:30 for the master class. And while I'm saying that, a heartfelt request to all of us to work together, because this is really about giving the opportunity to our children to grow. I can never be the parent. We at Gera Developments can never be the parent, but I can certainly handhold you and walk that extra bit with all of you to give your child what they are seeking. At the same time, in Pune, that's where I'm based out of, we have another child-centric project which has been, which we've been running for the last 1 year, November 2018. We have about 240 apartments out there and about 235 children in all of these 240 apartments. The age group for the academies is typically age 5 5 to age 16. It's all right, I'm louder now. All right? So this is where the academies have rolled out. We are seeing a huge success in terms of the families being happy. See, it's very essential for the moms and the dads and the grandparents to be happy that their children are happy. So we are seeing that it's been a slow start, but as we are understanding and engaging with the parents and evolving in this journey, it's very important for us to engage and evolve together. We're seeing that the coaches that we have across all of these academies, there's a very sincere feeling that they put in. It's not just a commercial transaction. There is an emotion that is attached with working with the child, identifying the weaknesses in the child, the strengths in the child, and playing on the strengths of the child. So it's tracked at a very, very deep level, of course with support from the parents, without which this doesn't happen. We have a very strong team back end. It's extremely cohesive, because without the team support, this offering which we have promised at the time of sale, which was a concept which you trusted and believed in us, today with the start of this masterclass, we hope that you experience this as the beginning of this journey together. So once again, welcoming all of you, and thank you very much for the trust that you've posed in us, and let's do this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Adita. So like she mentioned, it's already a huge success in Pune, and I think we're lucky now to have it here in Goa. I think there are so many projects, real estate companies in the country, and then I think there is Gera, which is different, and they come out with something so innovative, especially in this day and age when time is of such a huge essence to all of us. Am I right? I think Anita will agree with me. I think you're also waiting for the legend himself to also say a few words, right? Can I hear you say a few words, maybe? Give him a round of applause. Request Mahesh Bhupathi kindly say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I think, as Anita just said, this is not our first partnership with Gera at MBTA. We've already been actively involved in their property in Pune, and I think it is very unique. Being a parent of a 7-year-old myself, my daughter goes to singing, dance, gymnastics and tennis, and I know the challenges that we face as a household with the drop-offs and safety and pickups. Being a 7-year-old girl, there's even more tension, that we have to deal with. So, I commend Gera, and I've said this to them since day one, not only for coming up with the concept, but to tie up with best in class. Shamak, Shankar, Anil, Baichung, and obviously MBTA. Obviously, we have the credibility, and our goal is not only to make sure that the kids have fun learning what they do, but hopefully a few of them want to pursue it as a profession, and we have the process to be able to help the kid achieve these dreams. So, at MBTA, one thing we can definitely promise is, the kids will have fun, and if they enjoy it enough to want to make tennis a profession, then we can guide them along the way and make sure that they handhold them through the process. So, looking forward to getting on board with the kids in about 15 minutes, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Mahesh. Well, since we have a lot of parents and students in the audience, I'd like to bring their attention as well, and you speak about a few vital aspects that they need to know. We start off with a personal question, of course. Tell us about the time you started the sport. What drew Mahesh Bhupathi towards tennis?
Well, my dad put me in tennis, so it was at a very young age. So I think I caught the bug early, and after that it just became a way of life for me. So it just continued on.
Okay, a lot of dads. My dad told me to be an engineer, and that's how it happens usually, right? So it's so nice to know that your dad actually took you to the sport, and today you are a legend of the sport here in the country and internationally. When, according to you, is a good time to start training, and what would you advise young children wanting to take up tennis?
There's so many different ways when you say take up tennis, right? It just depends on what the end goal is. And I think when someone is starting out a sport, I think thinking about the end goal is never realistic. I have kids who come to our academies at 3. I've got kids, Rohan Bopana, who won the French Open a few years ago. He started playing tennis when he was 12. So I don't know if there's a right age. Obviously, the younger the better in my opinion, because the world is getting more and more competitive. But it's never too late. Obviously, if a kid is 14 and wants to start and says I want to become professional, I would say that's probably unrealistic.
Well, that's enlightenment for you from the tennis legend himself. What makes Gera's children-centric homes the perfect partner for the Mahesh Bhupathi training academies?
I can answer that question when I spoke earlier. I think what they're doing is unique. It's an amazing offering to the parents, to the families, and for us to be tied in with quality people who are tying up with quality, best-in-class categories across sports and activities, I think is a very special partnership for us.
Since you have a kid yourself, I'm pretty sure you'd be well equipped to answer this question. Today, the academic pressure is quite a lot with studies and homework. How do you think you find the perfect balance between academic studies and pursuing a sport?
Yeah, I mean that's a tricky question. I think the right word which you mentioned is balance. There's a saying: do you want to be the jack of all trades or do you want to be the king of one? So in my personal opinion, at a certain age, when a kid does feel that they're good enough, or everyone feels that they're good enough, ready to take the next step into trying to achieve professional stardom, then studies has to take a backseat. I mean, I can tell you, globally, Leander, Sanya, Roger, Rafa, these guys have not been to college. I mean, that's a fact of life, and that's the way it happens. But also, there's a lot of risk there, so you have to balance it.
And finally, apart from agility and fitness, what is the greater development for a kid from the sport of tennis?
I mean, just not tennis. I think sport in general teaches kids a lot. I think learning to win, learning to lose, how to deal with losses, how to deal with challenges. Your opponent is more than often better than you, so how to beat them, when the chips are down. I think sport teaches you a lot in life. So regardless of if you're going to become a professional or not, I think that those lessons will be great along the journey of life.
Okay, thank you, Mahesh. I think we could throw a few questions to the audience, if you don't mind, Mahesh. Anyone has any questions for Mahesh? I think I'll pass on the mic. Quite far. Make me run.
Thank you. Good for you to start with the sport. So yeah, my question is, the kids here have been more exposed to cricket and more exposed to the favorite football also. So have we seen less of tennis? So how would you create that interest in the kids?
I think the first step is for them to pick up a racket and ball and see if they enjoy it, right? I mean, if they hit a few balls with their friends or come to the academy and join a group of 6, I mean, I don't think you can force anyone to play a particular sport. But I mean, stranger things have happened in the world of sport. You have a Greek who's number 4 in the world in tennis, and they barely have 20 tennis courts in Greece. So that's the way it works.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Anyone? Yes, please.
Good evening, Mahesh. From this academy, further for the kids, what is the future? Means how long it will continue here, and then for future training and all, anything?
So, I think the first step is to start. Once we feel that the kid is good enough or talented enough, I mean, then we can chalk down a path. I mean, I have been involved with kids who are extremely young to someone like Sumit Nagal, who played Roger Federer at the US Open a few weeks ago. So, I mean, there's no shortage of infrastructure there, so it just depends on how good the kid is and wants to be.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we'll take another final question. Because I think we're all looking forward to why he's here, of course. We're waiting for the masterclass. Anyone wants to ask Mahesh?
So I have a question. Actually, I have two questions, if you don't mind. Or do you have time? Yeah. So the first question is, we see India making a lot of strides in a sport like badminton. When do you think we're going to break through in tennis? I mean, Sumit Nagal is a good example. He's just got into the main draw and played Federer and got a set off him. But we still don't see that many Indians break through. You and Leander, of course, are an exception in doubles. But in singles, I mean, when do you think we'll have people breaking into the top 50 or top 25?
When you find a coach like Gopi.
Hello, that's you. Sorry, my second question is, I just wanted to know more about this, your academy and your specific involvement in the academy, because I'm sure you've got multiple academies across the country. So how much is your involvement going to be in the academy here in Goa?
So I've had MBTA for close to 13 years now. So we've set a process in place. So regardless of which of the coaches represent MBTA in any of the states we are, the process is followed from the beginner level to the advanced level. So like you said, it's very hard for me to be everywhere at the same time. So, and they go through a stringent process, and we've got a couple of very senior coaches like Sharad and Tushar who overlook the whole program. So yeah, I mean, we feel we've got our process down, and that's why we're able to, contribute to the success of kids like Sumit and so on and so forth.
Thank you. And I believe you play tennis yourself as well. I noticed the rackets over there. Were they tennis rackets? Yeah. Okay. So I think we were all looking forward to the master class, and before we get to the master class, maybe we'll have a session with anyone wants to take pictures with the legend? I'm assuming I'm going to see a few more hands go up in the audience, of course. So while we let's do that orderly. First, your children can leave for the master class, and let them assemble outside the hall, and maybe we can have the last row come up front for your pictures with him, if that's okay with you.
All the kids can come for the master class. We can remove this.
And I'd like to thank Anita and Mahesh for answering all the questions and being present here.